Hi guys, I'm back if temporarily. I thought about upping my game and trying to escape the potato quality you've all come to know and love. Having a background besides my fucking science experiments and using a Mac instead of my wasteland terminal that's pieced together from garbage that I have to actually touch the wires to make it start. Anyways, that being said, I saw thousands and thousands and thousands of people standing against what they perceived as injustice at the women's marches. And the part of me that does come from activism really like to see that because there are so many injustices in the world, and I will always love seeing people standing together in solidarity to try to fight things that they believe are wrong. And considering the sheer amount of things that are wrong in the world, we can use all the help that we can get. But what I also saw after the fact was a lot of finger pointing in the wrong direction. Instead of pointing the finger out at what you perceive to be the injustice that you were there for, I saw a lot of posts saying, white women were responsible for getting Trump voted in. You are aware that white women isn't one person. It's not Legion. It's not, John Carpenter's The Thing. The people that were at the protest probably aren't the ones who were responsible for voting Trump in. So for you to hold your little sign that says, white women are responsible for this is just dumb, okay? I saw men holding signs that said, I shouldn't talk because I am a white cishet male. Yes, you should talk. If you have a good opinion, if you have an opinion, I want to hear it. People should want to hear it. What we're trying to get away from, is judging people by their skin color, their gender, their orientation, or other things that they cannot control. That's what we are trying to get away from. And I guess that real misogynists and sexists and homophobes and racists are too scary. So you just look for somebody to pick on, and that could be somebody who's not as rigid as I am in a background of fighting racism and homophobia and all that, but might just be interested in doing the right thing because they have a good heart, and yeah, I'll send them to the alt-right because they refuse to instantly bow to you and accept like shit in their mouth every little word mincing semantic ever-changing piece of bullshit from Tumblr or your liberal arts degree that you treat like a Bible that everybody has to believe, or you automatically label them as Hitler. That is not how you change things. That is not activism. That is alienating people. That is getting people away from the goal, trying to grandstand and saying that, black people can't be racist and all men are rapists, and that somebody shouldn't have an opinion or shouldn't talk or don't matter because of the color of their skin or their gender or what have you, is the opposite of what we're trying to accomplish. You are not only dissuading people who care and sending them away, creating internal conflicts that make them draw upon the human nature of saying fuck you when somebody treats you like garbage. You are making the entire movement look stupid and bad. And what's worse is that there is so much help that is needed all over the world. Instead of fucking arguing with people on the internet about, the definition of these fucking, stupid microaggressions and all this crap, why don't you fucking think about there are women right now in the Middle East being treated like livestock. They're being treated like baby-making machines. There are people that can't be out and gay because they'll get murdered. They'll literally fucking get murdered, and you're complaining about hats and the lack of melanin in someone's skin, somebody's genitals. And for the white males watching this, no, you are not the ones responsible, especially if you're a good-hearted person. You've never had a problem with minorities. You've always been kind. You've always wanted to help. And then getting treated like this? Thank you if you didn't join the fucking alt-right, because frankly, it's surprising, because people can only take so much being shit on, and that's essentially what it is bullying. So I have a challenge for all of you who feel strongly about social justice in a classical or, modern way. The modern way I'm not so happy about. I'd like for you to think beyond the trees of the forest. And if somebody tells you, I'm not racist, even as far as telling you their background with what they've done and their attitudes and their feelings, They're a whole person who has lived a life, and maybe instead of arguing about Tumblr bullshit, or calling them a white fucking male, or telling them to shut up because their opinion is invalid, why don't you think about people who really need your help? Why don't you think, even if you want to do it in a vaguely sociopathic way, how can you use this person? This person says they care. This person may want to help your cause, so instead of, trying to school them and automatically expecting them to take on every Tumblr definition like religion, why don't you just let it slide and see what people who have good hearts can do for the world? Because if you stop fucking with each other, look at how many of us there were, and think about what we could do if we really fought for the injustices in the world, like aforementioned women in the Middle East. There are fucking children out there starving, and you're bitching about fucking bullshit. So again, you can do this. Things have always changed this way. The people have always had to stand against the power. You're sending us so far back, though. Who gives a fuck how much melanin somebody has in their skin or what their genitals are? Who cares if they're fucking Becky or a Chad or identity fucking politic bullshit? See the whole person. Skip the subject and don't declare them an enemy because they refuse to accept your religion, and think of the greater underlying issue. I think I'm going to stop this video. Lex out, and I don't know if I'll do this again. I probably will, I probably won't. But spring is upon us and I want to get outside. Anyways, hope you're all okay. Bye.